Hi Virgo, welcome to your October 2020 reading. I would like to start by welcoming all of you, those of you who have been following me. I appreciate you, and if this is your first time, I appreciate you as well. Of course, this is a very overall reading, and it's not going to describe every situation out there, but I think the point of the reading is for you to have an idea of what you can do during this cycle. What are the actions that you can take depending or according to the energies that you're dealing with. So I like to use numerology, Virgo, and in this particular reading, I decided to use astrology. So this month, I'm emphasizing astrology because there is a lot of things going on in astrology during this time that is affecting us in an incredible way. And I think we've come to a point that we really need to honor that science. Astrology is a science that could be very helpful and beneficial in our lives because it can give us timelines where the energy is auspicious and is to our benefit and when it's not. Of course, it's all entirely up to you. So the first card that comes here comes with 15 and is Mercury. How about that, Virgo? You know this planet really well because this is the planet that rules your house, your astrological house. And we know that it talks about communication, that it relates to communications, the means of communications that we're going to use to express our ideas. Now, here in this reading in Tarot, number 15 is represented by the energy of the devil. When I added 1 plus 5, it gave me the Lovers. So as you could see, this Mercury, right, communication, we're talking about the nature of our relationships. And this is where you can mold it according to your situation. So we're talking about a time where we are having unexpected events in our lives that are creating conflict. Okay? But those conflicts are going to be an opportunity for you to express the person that you are now, the person that you're becoming. So, of course, these events are not going to feel very comfortable. And these are things that might have happened already in the recent past or that they're going to happen. So you have an opportunity here to know what to do if it did or if it's going to. So when we have the devil here next to the Lovers, we know that we're looking at the negative side of a relationship. Things that limit us in a relationship. Feelings that we're having that are making us feel unsure, insecure, doubtful, disoriented, right? So we are right now, some of you, in an emotional state where you may feel confused, you may feel insecure because the person that you're thinking of is not responding in the way that you were hoping they would. So that, as a result, is making you feel that maybe if you already responded or you overreacted, that you did. So if this already happened, Virgo, you are now having second thoughts, you're having doubts, and you feel like maybe you overreacted. On one end, on one side, you're feeling like, no, you were frustrated and you're tired of having people taking you for granted, especially your partner. And the reason why you exploded, possibly because the configurations, the celestial bodies, and the way they're behaving, I would not be surprised if some of you feel very explosive or very emotional. I mean, look at it, Virgo. This is October, and in this month, we're having 2 full moons and 1 new moon. That is plenty of reason to feel extremely sensitive. That's to begin with. So imagine when we are now facing situations that are not necessarily nice ones. Okay? Uranus is the planet of revolution, of truth, of change, and it's a change that happens rapidly and suddenly. It's in tension with Mercury, the planet of communication. So I would imagine that under these circumstances, in the way you're expressing the way you feel, is going to create conflict. It's going to be conflictive to others. You got to keep in mind, Virgo, that people get used to when you behave in a particular way. And when you change your behavior, a lot of people don't like that, especially if they are coming close to you to benefit from your relationship. So if you might have responded in a way that people are not used to, of course those people are going to overreact, and in a way they're going to try to make you feel that you're wrong because they want you to still behave in the way that is most suitable for them. And it's interesting because those are the kind of people that they look at you as straight in your face and they tell you you are wrong, when in reality they're the ones that are wrong. So you have to be very careful. Here Spirit is saying be very mindful and very careful with these people, because now more than ever you will be able to see the type of lovers that you have in your life, whether they're quality or not, the type of friends that you're cultivating, whether they're really good friends or not, the type of family members that are there for you. People that are only in your life, Virgo, for in the good times, those are people that when things go wrong, when they go south, they are the first ones to run away. And those are the people you don't want next to you. They're not your partners, they're not your friends, they're not your family. So right now, you need to take a step and speak your truth. And it could very well be, hey, I've had enough, I'm out of here. Or let those people know that you're not going to put up with it. Now, of course, depending on your clarity, depending on how you express yourself, is going to determine the quality of the solution. Because, as I said, two planets are in conflict, right? Communication and liberation. Imagine so. We want to feel free of our limitations, of everything that keeps us stuck in things that are not making us happy. But yet, the means to communicate that is not working to our benefit. You understand that? So here is saying, trust the process, okay? And this is where I'm going to remind you, Virgo, that last month I did a reading when I said that you have ended a cycle of karma. In Spanish, I had to make 2 additional videos because a lot of times we tend to use that word as the means to say that we owe something. We have a very negative connotation. So I explained that in Sanskrit, karma means action, the law of action and reaction. And under that law, that universal law, there are other ones like the law of correspondence, law of attraction. Whatever you put up, you get back, right? So there are all these universal laws that are affecting us constantly. And just because you ended a karmic cycle, it doesn't mean that these laws stop affecting you. No, they're still there. But we have gained a certain amount of information that if we use it wisely, now we can be more proactive in the new cycle to come. And part of the ending of that cycle is that a lot of these people that you might have thought you owed something, you don't. And none of these people owe you anything. So people that have come to assist you in the path of expansion, and you might have misunderstood why they were in your life, it was done. But there's still, the universe is going to bring you some of these people, because a lot of times we continue to remain in relationships that are not really healthy, but out of habit, we stay there. You understand where I'm coming from? And right now, the universe is going to bring you these people, and they're, you're going to have the opportunity to make the choice whether you want to remain connected or not. You don't owe anything to anyone right now. But if you do not know how to use your mind, how to create an emotional harmony, you can then use your power, your vital force, into sustaining situations that are unhealthy but prolong them. You understand? So you can repeat that which already happened in the past. So now you got to bring it to the next level, and it's to the level of awareness that whatever you spend your time and energy, but also your thoughts, are going to keep you in the same situation, and it's going to make it, it's going to repeat it under all of these laws. So you are now, right? And this is just an aspect of it. The other aspect is that this is the month of moons. We're being affected by the moons. We're very sensitive. And we have forces that are creating tension that can make us overreact sometimes and create friction. And we could see it in our society. There's so much going on right now. And we know that this epidemic is causing a major change in the structure of our society, and we don't know what's going to happen. Everything is very uncertain, and that's creating a sort of a feeling of, unsettling. It's a very unsettling feeling that is another reason as to why we can overreact, get angry, be frustrated. Any reasons that we can use to behave in the way that sometimes we behave, we use them. But that doesn't mean that it's right, nor that it's going to give you the things you want. Okay, so we have to be clear about that. So here I see situations, unexpected situations happening out of the blue, where you may respond in a way that you may regret. So try to be conscientious and avoid it. Now, it is important, though, it's imperative that although you don't want to create war, that you do express your truth. And if people don't get it, that's their problem. Because you're liberating yourself of all the things that limit you. The next card that comes here is a Scorpio with the number 8. And as soon as we see this, we know that Scorpio represents the house of death. But nothing really dies. Energy transforms itself. And yes, the things as we know them end, but they change and they become something else. And that's the nature of change, right? If we want to be better, and then we have to let go of the old and bring the new. And then we have to test it, and then we try it, and whatever we think it works for us, and then we create the means or the habits to use that information to our benefit. So part of this, death is very much needed. Now, when we're after something better, it requires us to change our perspectives, our way of thinking, change our frequency, change our energy. And that process is not always easy. Especially if we have been used to focusing on the things we don't have. So a lot of times when we're in situations like this, we have a tendency to focus on, oh, I miss this person, I don't have them, and for that reason I feel like shit, and for that reason I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get them back, right? So what are the things, I mean, sometimes if you think about it, Virgo, what don't we do trying to get that which we want, even when we know that it's not good for us? In this situation, in this cycle, Oracle is saying, you already know, my friend. You're an expert in this. And there's a big difference between having an empty cup to having a full cup. And whatever situations are arising here for you, or the ones to come, you need to ask, which one is it? And which one are you willing to settle for? A lot of times we settle for less. We tend to think a little bit, mediocrity. We don't think that we're good enough to obtain what we want, so we're willing to settle for less. The Spirit here is saying it's not the time for that. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of the month of October, we enter a full moon in Aries, which talks about expressing myself, recognizing that I'm just as important as everybody else. And in a relationship, in order for me to have a healthy relationship, I count. I need to be heard. I need to be valued. In the middle of the month, on the 16th, we have a new moon. And by then, my friend, we know that that new moon is in Libra. And Libra is about our relationships. So for those of you who are in a relationship that is struggling, now more than ever, you will know if that person is worthy or not, if that person is giving you an empty cup or a full cup. And this is where Spirit is saying, keep in mind that right now, in the evolution of mankind and our consciousness, no matter how much you try to keep this cup, you will not succeed. Because the vibration that we're moving towards does not allow for this. And if you decide to go for this, you're going to power struggle until the day you die. You will be participant of that reality where everything is chaotic, negative, and destructive. I'm just a messenger, and I'm just giving you what I know. If you are going for this, and then it requires you to go through these processes that we're going through that never end, about releasing, maintaining, receiving, balancing, all of these things, right? It's a process that never ends. So here, having Mercury and Scorpio together is saying, hey, you're either going to have to stop using means of communications that are not resolving the problem for you, or, stop wasting your time and energy trying to tell people who you are and what you need, people that do not get you. Stop wasting your time and move on. And use and utilize this wave of energy that is creating an incredible force and opportunity, and it will have a peak on December 1st, winter solstice, for you to change your genetic code. We know that after 2012, there were windows of time where we had access to newer information, which is not really new, but it's information that will allow us to expand our consciousness and to bring systems and structures to this planet where are more in harmony with everything. And this is happening right now. There are people that are already doing this. So don't buy into the news that everything is bad. It's only bad for those people that only believe in bad things. We are creating our future as we speak right now. And you need to ask yourself what kind of future I want to participate in. I personally, Virgo, I want to live in a reality where I'm conscientious of the life of animals, plants, where the air is fresh, the water is clean, and where we are all respecting each other and, you know, feeling joyful, and not only 3% is in control of the wealth of I don't want to live in a place like that. We're living in times where only like 3 to 7% of the people hold all the wealth, which we consider money. I don't consider that the only way of living. There is wealth. Abundance is a very expansive energy that comes in many forms. But if you don't learn about what that is, then you live in a reality that is very limiting. So that's the kind of planet that I envision. And I trust and I have faith that I will. I don't have to see it yet. Because there are people that say, well, I believe it when I see it. I'm the kind of person that with what I know today, I believe it wholeheartedly first, and then it'll come. When? I don't know. And this is where you have to be careful, especially with those people that tell you they love you and they come to question your beliefs, because those are the first ones that are going to ask you, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. And those are the ones that plant the seed of doubt. Sometimes the people that we consider our best friends are our worst enemies. But you're going to see that now, because here, with what I see here, you're going to see it. Then the oracle says, okay, also be mindful of how much attention you pay to these people. How much attention are you paying to this person that you're having the conflict with, or the people that are creating all of a sudden, conflict? How much attention? Because it can lead you to discontent. And under this energy, in this state of mind, you will not allow to benefit from this type of energy that is coming in. And I said it's been happening after 2012, but it's starting to diminish. We don't have as many opportunities as we've had before. So when it comes, we have to be prepared. We know that we're capable of receiving downloads, but it's very different when you're dealing with a 240 volts than when you're doing 350, and I'm just using that as an example. You have to prepare that body accordingly to receive that amount of energy. And it would be impossible if you're focused on this to receive this, because the next card is Epiphany and it comes under Jupiter. And we know that this is the energy that brings newer opportunities, new ideas, new concepts. It's the energy of hope. It's the energy that is going to assist you know what you need to know in order to create a new structure, especially after finishing this, long karmic cycle. Right now, you're in the midst of laying the groundwork for the things to come in your life. And the advantage that you have now until probably, this is going to happen for a few years, but especially during the end of the year, mid next year, you have a lot of flexibility with the things that you're going to create. And especially if you have access to newer information, that's going to be a hell of a lot better. That's going to be another opportunity for a lot more people to wake up. We know that we're choosing to do this individually, not collectively. We're choosing to change at our own terms when we want to. But ultimately, we all have to. When? That's none of our business. Our business is, what can we do now? Because a lot of times we get so focused on when and how. And it's like we have to get away from that shit, that attitude. What's important is, okay, what can I do now to make my life better? How can I resolve this situation, right? So let's be honest. Don't lie to yourself. And this is what the universe is saying. Look, if this person that you're thinking about, are they really showing you that they're worthy of your attention and love and affection? Because if they're not, let them go. And focus on the things that you can have. Because you will have them. But you have to believe it. And you have to believe it before it happens. You got to trust the process. And here with Jupiter and Epiphanies, I mean, that's what Jupiter is bringing. Is bringing these epiphanies, these sudden realizations. Oh my God. This came out of the blue unexpectedly when I least thought it could happen. All of a sudden you see this person that you've known for so long and you realize, this person has been my friend, but what kind of friend is this? Why have I kept involved in this connection? Time to let it go. I mean, this is happening to me, you guys. It happens to all of us. And of course, as we learn our lessons and we move forward, we continue to do the same processes and never stop, because this is the nature of change. This is the nature of expansion. So here, as the Hermit, you're looking at that moon, which is not just one. And you're realizing the timing. Right? So on one hand, I'm feeling super emotional, especially about the things that I don't know. Things are so unstable. I don't know them. That makes me agitated, gives me stress. But now I'm looking at this situation, this person, I don't know what's going to happen. This person is not responding in the way they thought. Well, if they're not responding in the way they thought, there is your answer. That's telling you that, you know what, this person is not necessarily the person you thought it would be. So move on. Don't give him more of your power. I know that's easier said than done, but you can do it. I have so much trust, Virgo, that you can do it. Give yourself the opportunity to just spit out all the anger and frustration in your house. And if I were you, this is a therapy that I use for myself and I sometimes recommend to others. For those of you who are in a situation like this, sit in front of the mirror and imagine that that's the person in front of you, and start saying all the things that just comes out. Just let it out. And even when you're feeling like, okay, I've had enough, continue, force yourself, because this is type of a therapy that you're doing to the subconscious mind. And that will help you stop thinking about this person and giving your energy to that person. Because one thing is getting away from, that someone, and another thing is finally getting them out of your head. And a lot of times we spend more time thinking about the person that we don't have when we don't have them than when we do. And that makes us put our vital force and our creative power in situations that are dead end. So I'm hoping that you get the point from this reading. A time where sudden things are going to happen, unexpected things, where you may end up overreacting in ways that maybe you regretted, but it's important that you express your truth. Not everybody's going to get it, not everybody's going to agree with you, but that's okay, because it's meant to be that way. It's meant to happen that way so that you can see who to trust through the good times and the bad times, and who not to trust. And not let just anyone come to you so that they can benefit from your well-being, so they can take advantage of you. I mean, more clear than that, right? Now, Spirit also says, cautiousness, okay? Important not to become stubborn. One thing is liberating myself from the unwanted, and another thing is I need to prove my point, and I have to be right, and I have to tell you because I need to be heard. Careful with being very stubborn, okay? We need to be malleable, flexible, fluid. Remember that we're energy moving constantly, right? And when we're not feeling good, a lot of times we don't know how to move that energy and it gets stuck here, okay? Or, it gets stuck here. And then we get into problems because we end up getting depressed. So we need to be very sincere with who we are and, don't ignore how you feel. And don't try to get into that, place of I am so right that I can't stand myself. And I will say, Virgo, here there's a change, a shift happening in your life because the energy that is coming here is the traveler. So I'm going to say that there is a change in direction here in the life of many of you. And you need to travel light. You need to let go of all the resentments and things that keep you holding back. Expectations with people that are really not worthy. They're not worth it. And really, here what is being learned is the difference between a full cup and an empty cup. By the 21st, if you take this new moon to plant new seeds, and please be sure that you don't include names, because some people do that. They have to include the person that is not working. That's the one that they want to be in a relationship with. I just don't get that anymore. I mean, I understand that people have their way of thinking, but I don't understand if this person is treating you like shit. Why are you so, obsessed with the idea that that's the person that has to give you the happiness? I just don't get that. It's like, how much more evidence do you need to understand that this person doesn't understand the things you do? And just like you don't like to be forced to change, why do you need to force this person? So here it's like, don't force the issue. Just, count your losses and move on is what you're being told. Just, continue the path because there's going to be a peak of this energy where you won't have to make a lot of effort to get there, and then you'll be able to benefit from the downloads that are going to be available to us. Remember that we're part of a galactic family. We're not the only beings in existence, okay? We are part of a galactic family that we have yet to meet eye to eye. Some of us have met them when we are in a state of sleep, or sometimes when we've had contacts with other beings. But at some point, we're going to meet them face to face, and we have to prepare ourselves for that moment. You have to prepare yourself too, Virgo. So we need to keep up with the information, just like we're trying to keep up with technology. And I'm going to add, I don't like to get involved in politics or some of this stuff that is going on that is very negative in nature, because there's a lot of stuff going on that people say, a card fell, you guys. I don't know where it went. There is a lot of negative stuff going on that people talk about that I'm aware of, and I know that it's happening. But anytime that our technology advances in the way that it is, we need to program our body to align itself with that technology. Otherwise, we get sick. There is this 5G technology right now with the phones, and that's a very dangerous advanced technology that if we don't know how to configure our DNA, we can end up very sick. Keep that in mind. So we have work to do. And we just have to get to that point where we got to stop making our this type of relationship the center of our world and our reality, you know? There are more important things in your life right now that determines your well-being. And you cannot have a good relationship until you have found what that is, what that well-being is about. You have nothing to offer, and no one has nothing to offer you until they have found the quality of life and well-being that we deserve. So, not a time to spend so much of your mind in this emotional place or listening to news of things that are already past and the misery of the world, when there's so much opportunity for greatness, when there's so much opportunity for joy, abundance, and happiness. But we have to know what that is, and we have to begin with our own selves, with our own self-worth. And I'm not trying here to lecture you, but I'm just reminding you, because we go through these times where we meet someone and all of a sudden we're like, oh, and then that energy changes and it becomes this, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. And we're missing the most important thing, which is how to become better. In some ways, we're being distracted so that we miss these opportunities that we're having to become better. Because there is a wave of energy that likes you to be slaved and to be ignorant. They love when you're ignorant and don't know any better, so that they can use you as their puppet. So let's loosen up. This is the time to break away from all of that. And you have to begin by breaking away from this kind of people, whoever they are right now in your life. Break free. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best.